on the filthy show. Filthy, anything goes on the filthy show. It's the filthy show.
All right, welcome to our first episode in like a month. We took a little bit of time off. Nick and Chris got married.
It was a good wedding. Adam wasn't there. He didn't show up.
No, I don't really know you guys like that.
He tried to break it up.
So yeah, this is the Filthy Show podcast. We're gonna get a lot of questions answered today. Our guest is someone who I've been trying to get for a really long time. Fucking Thai Rivera, everybody. Give it for Thai Rivera.
Hello, everybody. Give it up for the Jesus in Thai Rivera.
Hell yeah.
Are we just audio or are we audio and video?
And video as well.
We got video, and then if we pull up videos and stuff, we blow it up here. And
Okay.
yeah, we're a pretty advanced amateur podcast that nobody watches. Ty, you're fresh off of a whole weekend of shows. You look like a sleepy guy.
Yeah, I had to be at the airport by 4 a.m., so I woke up at like 3:30.
Do you want some cocaine?
No, but thank you.
That would be fun to just do 3 p.m. cocaine.
Yeah.
You don't.
Recording a podcast.
You're completely sober, right? You don't fuck with anything.
Right now I'm completely sober. I smoke weed when I'm like,
Yeah.
when I do anything, it's weed, but I stopped smoking weed a couple weeks ago, and I'll be sober until 4th of July.
Okay.
When was the last time you had a drink or anything?
Well, I'm not like sober, like AA sober. So
Okay.
if I feel like drinking, I will, but I just don't like it anymore, so I don't do it.
Are you one of those guys that just goes balls to the wall and then you're like, I got to take some time off? Like,
No, I mean, with drinking anymore, no. When I was
Yeah.
younger, I used to drink quite a bit, but then I got tired of it. I've had a life where I've been able to do as much of everything as I wanted to. So I could drink unlimited. I could do drugs unlimited. You know what I mean? And so I just wore myself out from everything.
That's the problem with comedy is it's so easy to just do drugs and drink all the time. It's actually harder to not do those things.
Yeah.
Most people have real jobs. They're like, well, I can't just drink all day at my job. And I'm like, I kind of have to drink all day at my job or I don't do what's good.
Yeah, when I was younger, my two best friends were dealers. And then, so I got to party a lot.
When it's accessible, it's hard.
What was your favorite drug?
I did a lot of speed. Speed is the big thing.
That's meth,
with
right?
with the LGBT community.
Nice,
that's like huge.
Oh, yeah. I bet
Ty
meth-
had to quit because he got fucked up and had sex with women.
No, that never happened.
You just wake up.
Rock bottom is like next to a beautiful woman.
A beautiful woman with huge tits.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
They kicked him out of San Francisco because of
No,
that.
I would imagine meth and gay sex go well together.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Does it make
great.
you hard?
It takes a while to get hard, but once you get hard, then it's
stays.
great.
Stay hard,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, you'll fuck for no lie, because one time, me and one guy I was dating, the one that I think when you do drugs, you always have that one that you used to party with, and you guys would just fuck forever.
Adam.
Oh,
Yeah, you and Adam. It
Yeah.
makes sense. That's why you guys have the podcast now.
No, we've been in positions where if we were going to have gay sex, we would have done it. We've been in a hotel room together just doing an 8-ball and just hard looking at porn, and we didn't fuck each other.
Yeah, we were just looking at porn together for like a couple hours.
Not on the same phone.
No.
Different phones, different porn.
We found videos we liked. We showed to them.
Yeah.
It was just a chill time.
You ever done that with your friend, Nick?
A lot of guys-
respective porn viewing. And
Yeah.
kind of
Like, hey,
say,
you
I
like this? That's like showing each other your favorite movies.
A lot of straight guys jack off together. That's something I
I
learned.
hear about that. Yeah.
In like high school, there was so many, especially like the jockey kids.
So many stories.
They would just have a sleepover and have an old pound fest just in the living room.
I had a friend that used to creep me out with porn. She was a trans woman. And I would go over to her place sometimes and she'd just have porn playing. And I just, I was too young to get it.
Just
You know what I mean?
casually
To
having it on?
Were
understand
you
it.
like a child?
No,
And she was
but
an adult? Or-
no, but I was too young to understand that she was trying to put that out there as like a hint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was just sitting there this is weird. Why is she? And I was already a sex worker at that time, so it wasn't like I was completely naive, but it just I didn't put together the idea that friends would try to fuck you.
I didn't know you were a sex worker.
Yeah, what kind of
yeah.
sex
That's
work?
awesome.
Yeah, not forever, but yeah, for quite a while.
Were you doing that and comedy at the same time? or was it one
No.
before you?
Once I was doing comedy, I completely stopped, and then also I wasn't at all open to like having sex for comedy. It's a problem I had where
I feel that.
I was being sexually harassed at one point,
Oh,
damn.
and
What
it
do
was
you
like
charge?
it's completely different.
What was your rate?
He's
as a
retired,
sex
Chris.
worker?
Get off his dick.
I just want to know his rates.
I'll tell you what the most I ever made off one call is.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
2,500.
Nope.
5,000.
5,150.
Damn.
Wow.
That's
The exact
awesome.
I
number was
looked at him, dude.
5,150.
Price is Right.
That was like a while ago too, so that was like
Yeah.
probably a lot more money back
Yeah.
then.
I had to save up a lot of money to do that.
I do think being like a prostitute and comedian would be weird. Just like, so I got a show tonight. If you want to see more of
Hands
it.
him a flyer.
Yeah, no. But like I said, so I had this friend and I would go over to her place and we would just hang out, And then every once in a while I'd go over there and she'd be playing porn and I'd just be sitting there like feeling awkward, And then afterwards it hit me like, years later I was like, oh, she was trying to give me a hint.
Yeah, she wanted to fuck you.
Yeah.
Would you have done it?
No. I'm not interested in transsexuality.
But that's interesting because it's like if you're taking it in the ass, how do you even know? It's still a dick.
Will you shut up?
It's
Wait,
not a
what,
bad
Adam?
question, right?
It's got a dick. It's tits. It's now I'm an asshole. Now I'm.
Hey, we all knew that was gonna happen either way.
Yeah.
You can't blame me.
Yeah. Well, eventually the transphobia slips out when you're talking to me. It's just gonna happen.
I just feel like if I was fucking like a trans man who still had a vagina,
Yeah.
but he had a nice ass and was bent over, it wouldn't be that different than banging a girl.
Well, to tell you the truth, that's where I could see it. Like with the
Yeah.
trans men, because trans men, a lot of times, especially once they've really been on the testosterone for
They
a
look
while,
good.
they look like any other guy.
Exactly
so
like
they
men.
just have a vagina. And so I think I could probably have sex with a hot trans man.
Well, that was the thing with the bathroom situation. Like, it would be like a dude in a cowboy hat with a beard. Like, should I really be in the women's bathroom? It's like, no, you obviously should be in the men's bathroom. You won. You beat it.
Yeah, well, and yeah, with the trans women, it's just because if I want to have sex with you, you're obviously not good at being a trans woman. Because I'm really into men. You know what I mean? So
Chris in a dress is going to scare women. If
Yeah,
he's just pissing, standing up with the stall door open.
You got toilet paper.
Oh, I have such a funny story. The bathrooms here at the Creek in the Cave used to be intergendered. They
Yeah.
did like the neutral bathroom thing. But there's obviously one with urinals, one without. But one has more stalls, and I had the shits like no one's business. And I was just blowing my ass out in there. And this girl next to me was like, "Are you okay in there, sweetie?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. No worries." And she just like immediately flushed and got the fuck out the red.
Isn't that weird how women interact? A guy would never ask another guy that in the bathroom.
No,
You know
like,
what I mean?
"Damn, brother."
Yeah. Are you okay in there? It's like, I don't care if he's okay.
No.
He's taking a shit,
We're there. We're doing what we're supposed to do there.
Yeah, and sometimes you can hear a guy has like hemorrhoids,
Oh,
just because of
yeah.
the way he's grunting. You're like, that's not just taking a shit right
Can't
now.
imagine the gut feeling that woman had when she heard Adam's voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
went from, wow, this lady's shitting really hard to, I'm fine. Thank you, ma'am.
What a funny sentence. Oh, wow, this lady's shitting really hard.
Ladies do shit hard.
Oh,
I've lived with one for 5 years.
They smell.
Well, I
Worse.
was told by my sister, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I was told by my sister that the reason it smells so bad when women take a shit is because they hold it all day.
Okay.
It's because they don't want to shit at work or anything like that. They
They're
don't want
not
to be that
public
chick.
poopers.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
Their period bloods also smell really bad.
I've never
Oh my
been
God.
exposed.
It's so
you didn't
bad.
grow up with women?
Yeah, but
Or
I
they were
kn-
just clean enough? They didn't.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
That's a good
we're
point.
Mexican. So I think white people are a lot more open about that. Like growing up, my sisters and my mother, I never would have known they even had periods.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Let me ask this.
Yeah.
And then we've noticed this with a lot of Mexican people. Me and Chris worked in a warehouse with a bunch of Mexican ladies for like 3 months. They don't flush their shit toilet paper.
That's because the plumbing in Mexico, is bad.
right? But then we were like, hey, guys, it's good to go here.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is hard to, like, shit, and you just see a fucking overflowing trash can of just Mexican lady shit toilet paper.
Yeah.
my God.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was at Walmart buying new pants, and I went to go put them on, and I threw my old pants away. And I got home and realized I left my keys in there. So I had to go back to Walmart, and the amount of shit toilet paper over my pants I had to dig through.
Just in that time frame?
Just in the time frame of
like
20
snow.
minutes.
That's how many Mexicans had to take shits at
They need
Walmart.
to stop. It's the only racism I have is these Mexicans need to
I went to
flush their
Mexico,
toilet paper.
and that's when I noticed it. I was like, oh, that's why like all of my Mexican friends, like I lived in San Antonio for a while, so I was the only white kid at a Mexican school. I was like, that's why all the trash cans were just filled with shit toilet. I was always so confused.
Now, did you grow up in America, or were you born in Mexico?
Listen to me.
I don't know.
Listen to me speak. Do you really
he
think
obviously
that
grew
I
up
was
in San Francisco?
okay? I do not have a lisp naturally. I have a dental appliance right now, and it gives me a lisp. But everybody in Austin, because I came here and I already had it, and I'm gonna because I've got to get an implant put in. But everybody here in Austin thinks I just have a lisp, and it's not the case.
Fair enough.
I think that's what they all
He
say.
takes it
Kai.
out. He's like, see, I talk normal.
Hey, fool.
Very frustrating.
Takes it out,
It's
his
very
accent comes
frustrating
out.
being the guy with the lisp, especially when you're gay.
Isn't
that
it
was the
better
wrong
than-
time for my lisp to kick in. I was like, it's best.
I don't fucking have a lisp, man. I feel like it'd be better to be gay with it, though, than to have to constantly be like, no, I just talk like this. I'm not gay.
Will you shut up?
I'm making
The
too much
gays
sense
don't
of-
want you to be gay. That's the thing about being gay. You know, everybody tries to act like it's gay pride and all this shit, but everybody wants masculine in the gay community.
Really?
Hey, that's what it seems like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All our gay friends, one of our best friends is a gay guy, and he only likes to fuck like
Yeah.
manly men.
Yeah, everybody wants masculine, and so
But
they'll
twinks
try.
are popular, right?
Well, twinks are their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, twinks can get away with a lot because gay culture is obsessed with youth.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
That's a door.
you know,
That's
even
a door you can open.
Well, that's a door. But it's true.
It is true.
You know, like it's an obsession.
I've
with-
always heard that. Yeah, that it's just like that's normal in the gay community for like a 16-year-old boy to fuck like a 45-year-old man.
Yeah, well, that's very unfortunate, and that's started to change a lot. When I was younger,
Yeah.
that was the case, but it was also because of circumstance. You know, because there wasn't Grindr. Like now, you can go on Grindr. You can go on like even Facebook.
Yeah. And those 16-year-old boys probably don't feel comfortable trying to fuck other kids their age because it, especially back, like 10, 15 years ago, that could result in you getting the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah, and them telling, you know what I mean? Because then they tell the other high school kids, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're the gay one,
And I
you
guess,
know?
like a safe older man, you're like, well, he's probably not going to tell anyone because he doesn't want people to know he fucked a teenager anyway. So
Yeah,
it's like-
and you didn't want them to, like with me, I guess I didn't realize that I kind of was being, I guess, taken advantage of, you could say. You know what I mean? Like, because for me, I was just going with the guys that were available because I was at the bars,
Do you
know?
feel now that you were taken advantage of?
Not really, but with kind of some of the head games they played and stuff like that, yeah, and I see why, you know what I mean? It's not just about the sex part. Like, that's what people don't understand about those dynamics, is it's
Yeah.
not just bad because of, like, you know, the law or, you know, which is a huge thing, but, you know, but it's not just bad because of that. But a lot of times older men just have a lot of baggage. So if you're a 16-year-old kid and they're dragging you through all their shit, and you're like developing this toxic mindset because you're dating people that obviously aren't mature or as mature as they should be, you know, like you're like when I was 16, I think the youngest guy I was with was like 27.
That's not too crazy. I mean, it's great, but it's like
Yeah, but you
That's
know what I
not
mean?
you were
But
17
when that's
or
like the
16?
youngest, like, you know.
you were 16, he was 27.
Yeah.
Like, that is two pretty young people, but there is a pretty big difference between a 27-year-old. I feel like a 27-year-old man and a 16-year-old woman would be, or girl would be worse for some reason. Just because I feel
Girl
like teenage
brains.
girls, I don't know, it just seems like they're like very easily manipulated. Whereas teenage boys are dumb, but like they know they want to fuck. Like,
Yeah,
they're
but
pretty
it'll
sure
still fuck you up mentally because
Yeah.
that's what my first sexual experience. Well, my first somewhat adult sexual experience was, with a person that was 18, and I wasn't ready for it mentally. And so that did fuck me up. That's why I'm not for that. Like, when people like think it's cute to like be attracted to like younger people. I mean, like 18 and over, cool. You know what I mean? Because at least then you have some sense of yourself. I mean, it's not ideal to be dating people that are that much older, but it's legal, and there is some sense to that being legal.
Well, I'm 30, and 18-year-old girls like disgust me. I mean, I'm in a committed relationship. I wouldn't cheat anyway, but like, obviously you can notice if a girl is sexually attractive, but then you talk to her for 3 minutes and you're like, this is terrible. Like, I would never want to be, even for sex, I couldn't just hang out with an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah, a lot of
children, especially
20-somethings.
Nowadays.
Yeah, a lot of 20-somethings are attracted to me, and I've like hooked up with a few, but it just, there's nothing to talk about, and once you like, because you'll even sometimes think you have a connection with them, and then you'll really talk to them, and you'll be like, no, that's not an actual connection.
Not a teenager, but have you been like a younger guy's one of his first gay experiences?
No.
You've never done that?
You've never been a first.
Would you not feel comfortable doing that?
Well, if they're of age, then I wouldn't have like a moral objection to it. But just like, I like guys that know what they're doing.
That makes sense.
So for me, it wouldn't, you know what I mean? To be somebody's first, it wouldn't be any kind of like thing for me where it's like, oh, this is amazing, or this is,
you don't want to get your dick bit.
You're
trying to get your dick bit.
Yeah.
Do they bite dicks in the gay community sometimes?
They're dick biters.
Dick biters?
I will say
my Lord.
bad, inexperienced blowjob givers do use teeth. I mean, it might be different for guys because they know that you don't want teeth on your dick. But I've got, when I was in high school, I got a lot of teethy blowjobs, and it's not fun. It hurts.
Yeah,
Nick, you ever
I
get
dated.
a teethy blowjob?
Just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's not like noticeably.
What would Nick be considered in the gay community?
Yeah.
He's like a twink, but he's kind of like a broad.
He's growing out his facial hair now.
Yeah,
it looks
getting
good.
a little rugged.
He's a little rugged
You
now.
know, he still would be like twink vibe. Yeah.
But he's a
but
little
possibly
more
an
masculine.
otter.
Okay.
Oh, an otter. You're an otter,
Okay.
dude.
I would
Like
say
an otter?
possibly an otter. Yeah.
Is it not? What's an otter? Is it like a twink, but a little bit like?
Little bit hairier, a little bit
Okay.
more mature looking, you know. Yeah, it's kind of like the smaller version. Well, that's not a good way to put it.
Chris
I was going to say, but you're not really at all like, otters are different from bears, but it's kind of like a transferable thing almost in a way,
Chris is what they call a mess.
A mess in the gay community?
What's the type? Do you have a term for a gay guy who's like a trucker dude? Is that a bear? Like a
Usually
trucker
they're
hat,
bears.
like flannel, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about
Those are
Adam?
common.
Huh?
What would you call Adam? A
A
catch?
lesbian.
It's not too bad.
Adam would be a lesbian for sure.
Adam would probably prefer that.
Well, you better prove you got a dick or get the fuck out of this bar.
Yeah, in the world of gay men, Adam is a lesbian.
That's cool.
Where do I fit in then? I just kind of get to hang out. I don't really get invited to the sex
You
parties.
call yourself non-binary. what you would do?
That was always an issue I had, like, in comedy, is people look at me and they expect me to be, like, kind of one of those, like, more PC comics. In Seattle, I got booked just by my looks.
Yeah.
'Cause they're like, this guy could be like a non-binary guy. Then I'm just like, trans kids should be murdered.
Yeah, you do have that look though. Like you would be a super liberal. Yeah, is what I would think.
But I went to a black school, so I think that's what really changed that.
Yeah.
So I look like this, but I was like, we were shooting the shit all the time. I was getting my ass kicked, but also learning really fun roast behavior and stuff like that. So,
yeah, well, that'll happen when you're
Yeah.
raised around black people.
And you look like me. And
Yeah.
you're Jewish. Black people don't like Jews.
Really?
Yeah, people don't really talk about that. Well, I think the Black Israelite mentality is bigger than a lot of people know. Like, there is a lot of black people who believe that black people are the original Jews, and white Jews kind of just stole that from them.
You appropriated it.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Okay.
maybe.
Gentrification.
I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't around. You guys might be right. But, I wish that was the case when the Holocaust happened, because it would have been cool if, they didn't get us.
So is that what oh, I hate you so much.
There's a lot
I'm
of black
just saying,
Jews in
someone should
Germany.
have told Hitler,
Well-
hey, we're not the real ones. Just a heads
That would be terrible though if the Holocaust had been black, I mean
What,
like
they murder the 4 black people in Germany? It would have been that.
We got them all.
All right, Hitler, we're done.
But as
One
much as
day.
they complain about slavery now, could you imagine if they could add the Holocaust to
my
that on
God.
top of it?
my Lord.
We'd never hear the end of it.
We get it, guys.
Yeah, but so what's the deal with blacks and Jews?
I think it's mostly that. Like, the Black Israelites. It's a more popular mentality than a lot of people realize. Like, a lot of famous black people were Black Israelites, and also a lot of them are like segregationists.
Okay.
Like, they just believe that different races belong, and just like every race.
So
This
a lot of
isn't just
famous black people
Well,
are.
Muhammad Ali was a famous like segregist. He believes that black people should live with black people. And
I
white
think
people.
Ice Cube is too.
Nick Cannon is a Black Israelite.
Okay.
Like, he truly. I guarantee you, he is more anti-Semitic than Kanye. I don't even think Kanye has that mentality. I think Kanye is more just like all over the fucking place.
He just has the
That's
mentality
just what
as
he
everybody
decided
else.
to talk about that day. That day, it was the Jews.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not always the Jews.
Well, I'm sure he said that a lot before with friends and even Jewish friends, and nobody cared. And
Well,
then
they were
he
probably
just,
like, "Yeah, you're right. The
yeah,
Jews
and
do
then he
run
just
everything."
decided to take it.
Well, what Kanye said is what everybody says about the Jews.
And
It's true.
It's true. It is
Yeah.
true. And
I mean,
is that really
everybody
an
does say
insult
that.
that you run show business?
And the banks. And you're cool. You're the
That's a pretty
chosen people.
Big deal.
But it'll really turn people against you, and that's what they're afraid
It
of.
does.
You know what I mean? Because
I know, I
it's
agree.
like too much control, and that's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
What happened?
And I do have a lot of black friends who are, I consider them friends. And when
here
the
comes
Kanye
the really
thing,
racist part.
and here's the thing, we gotta get them out of here.
Yeah, here comes the real.
Stay away from my daughter.
Once you get prepped with the I have a lot of black friends. It's like, here we go.
And all I'm saying is, without slavery, you'd be living in Africa. Do you even want to be there? No, but when the Kanye thing came out, these are guys that are like childhood friends. Like, I've hung out with their families. One of them was the brother of a girl I dated for like 2 years. And me and him are still super close. And they were straight up like, yeah, Kanye's right. Like, the Jews fucking suck. Like, if a Holocaust happened, that'd be fine. And I'm just like, whoa, all right, whatever. But see, even then, though, like, I still don't get that offended. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, I really doubt that guy really wants that. Like, he probably has some hatred for Jews and the Jewish race. But I think most people are pretty far away from that mindset of actually wanting an entire race to be genocided.
You're also more connected with the black community than the Jew community.
I like the blacks more. I will say that. I like the blacks more than the Jews.
Were you raised very Jewish?
Not really.
Okay.
So my dad's side of the family is very Jewish, and then my mom's side of the family is very Christian conservative. So we split time. So I got like the best of both worlds. But now that I'm in show business, I claim Jew.
Yeah, I think everybody should be able to say everything.
Yeah.
I really do feel like that. You know what I mean? I do feel like, because then you get to know exactly where people are, and you
sure.
can decide off of the real them whether or not that's a person you want to hang out with.
I never understood that whole, like, yeah, people should withhold their thoughts. It's like, don't you want to know their thoughts? Like,
Don't you want to know who the racists are?
prefer to know if your friend just likes making jokes about black people or if he wants black people to be enslaved?
Well, that was a
'Cause
huge
there is a
problem with
difference.
when Trump got elected. You know, people got scared to a point where they weren't allowed to say it out loud. And then it turned out the way it turned out, and everybody was surprised. And it was like, yeah, because you're surrounded by Trump supporters. You just don't let them say it.
Yeah.
So you talk about politics, and then they get completely quiet, and you assume that they're voting for Hillary like you are, or, and so then you end up with Trump as president.
And that whole thing where they're like, he's racist, sexist. I'm like, do you not think that every single one of those political guys is just as racist and sexist as he is? Like, he's just vocal. He doesn't give a shit. He just says stuff. Like, I don't think there's any difference between like him and Bill Clinton. I'm sure Bill Clinton thinks the exact same way about minorities that
I
Donald
think all
Trump
politicians do.
Well, I didn't really think what he said was particularly racist. Especially the
You can
stuff.
make that argument
I mean,
100%, yeah.
I'm Mexican, and like I didn't know any Mexicans that
Yeah.
were particularly offended by it.
Well,
It was
and I
usually
also-
white people being offended for us.
I think the racism I'm talking about is not even connected to that. Just more so that he's an older, rich white guy.
Of course.
Like, I'm white. I had around plenty of white people.
Yeah.
They all have racism. And it's really not, most of it's not harmful at all.
Well, that's why
Like
when
most
the
of it.
young white liberals really go hard on, cancel culture and race and racism and stuff like that.
Because what they have in here.
My response is always like, cancel your grandparents first.
Yeah.
After you handle that situation, then take on the rest of the world. And you won't do that because that's probably where your money's coming from.
And it's also like, why? Like, they live their lives. They grew up in a completely different world. So why are you gonna like pinpoint their like?
Yeah, but
the
I'm
next
saying if you're
generation
going to
is gonna
cancel
look-
anybody, go within
No,
your
I-
own family. You
I
know what I
agree.
mean? But
Yeah.
that's the reason they won't. That's the reason they don't. Is because their money will get cut off. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of these people are living off their
Have you guys
family's
seen
money.
that video of this daughter speaking at her father's funeral?
No.
And she's like super like college liberal, and
I wanna
her
see this.
dad's Trump supporter.
Pull it up.
And she
oh my
just-
God, his funeral. That's kind of.
I
She
heard
just,
about
she
that,
just
but-
calls him out. She's like, my dad was an evil man. He supported Trump. He was a fascist. Disgusting. I'll never.
I
love
think
him.
anyone who like fully gets behind any politician and like thinks that that person wants the better for them is
Yeah.
dumb. But I don't think it's like. I don't think that makes you evil.
We treat
Yeah.
politics like sports too much.
I'll say this: there was probably people that supported Hitler that probably weren't even bad people.
no, he was just
I know
cool.
it sounds bad now, but you put yourself in that time frame, and it's just like, well, you know,
Yeah.
those Jews are kind of annoying.
I mean, you guys would probably support Hitler at that time too, if you were in Germany.
I support him now.
Whoa! Come on, Adam.
I just like his mustache.
That's cool.
It sucks he ruined that for everybody though, because his mustache.
I'm a
was
sucker for a good public speaker.
nice. He is a really good his delivery, dude.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a good
That's
public
how I felt
speaker.
about Donald Trump, dude. He could riff his ass off. I've never seen a president like go off script as much as he did and like hold the room that well. I was very impressed.
He
with
was
that.
just fun, and people can't accept that, you know, and people want to act like, you know, a president shouldn't be fun. That's what people, because I told people, because I voted for Donald Trump, and I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, he's just fun. And they're like, but from a president, it's like, bitch, where do you want your fun to come from?
Yeah. And look
You know
at
what I
Biden.
mean?
Is that better? A retard?
It definitely is not.
It's
you know what I
not,
mean?
yeah,
And then if you look at
100%.
his old speeches, he was racist too. You know
more
what I mean?
so.
Like
He has said more racist stuff.
oh
than
yeah,
Trump,
well
for
he was
sure.
the super predator guy. You know, so it's like, come on. And you're right. Everybody from that generation or from those generations was like, we
But-
just started not being as racist
People
recently.
don't realize.
Oh,
that,
this is it.
Okay, can we wait?
Privileged
Just
19-year-old.
hold on yeah.
But
let me just,
People don't realize that in 40 years, all these like SJW, like liberal types, they're gonna be looked at upon too, and a lot of the stuff they're saying now is gonna be considered super racist.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in like 40 or 50 years, white people will be minorities, and there will be 15, 16-year-olds that have grown up only knowing white people as minorities, and they're gonna see a video of their grandma being like, "Whites need less privileges," and they'll be like, "Damn, you were really going in on minorities."
Well, a lot of them don't realize.
oh, we can hold on. Do you
Yeah,
want
we'll
to
wait.
watch it now?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll wait.
it's a-
Yeah.
you
Like a
can
lot of
finish
these
your point.
people don't realize, like the SJW types don't realize that they're racist now.
They are. 100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm brown, and I'm always getting told by white liberals what I should and shouldn't say. That's racist.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we should just have the conversation. Why do you think you, as a white person, are able to tell me, as a brown person, what I should think?
That-
Don't you think we have different life experiences?
That is absolutely where it comes from. It's like when I do a joke about black people and a white woman gets offended, she feels like she can be offended for that black person
Yeah.
because she's white.
Yeah.
And she knows more about things than he would understand. Even if he's I heard a white woman say just because he's laughing at the joke doesn't mean he likes it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, you said that for him, so it must be true.
Well, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's still controlling the narrative. That's what they don't realize. It's the same thing, you know, as, you know.
And also, it's one of the main things I think was like a great showing of like liberal racism was when they were like, we can't have people have to have IDs to vote because a lot of black people don't have IDs or access to the internet. And some guy went into the hood and like interviewed like 40 black people. And they're like, the fuck? I got internet and an ID.
The best thing though was all the black people that made like TikToks and stuff like that, where they were like using an iPad as a phone.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And like acting like they didn't know how technology worked just to
Black people
make fun
are
of it.
funnier. They
Oh
just
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Naturally.
They're born
The best
funnier.
basis for a comedian is male and black. That's just true.
Yeah.
I
Black
hate
male
you so
comedians.
much.
But I'm not wrong.
It
That's why you
works.
hate it. You know it's true.
Black women can be really funny
Oh,
too.
but that's the thing. When a black woman's funny, she's fucking unstoppable.
yeah, like you know,
Like, that's a
Miss
good
Pat, or like you know,
Miss Pat brought the fucking house down at Mothership.
Oh,
when she
yeah,
was-
of
I mean,
course.
within 2 minutes, she was absolutely demolishing. Like,
Yeah.
it was like just by fucking around and talking to the audience and stuff. Because they're naturally entertaining people.
Yeah.
That's why we got them. That's why we scrapped him up.
Will you shut up? That was not why.
For entertainment
Yeah, no, I know.
purposes,
We
we brought him
traded
here.
All right, should we check this out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's watch it.
All right. Privileged 19-year-old uses her father's funeral as a soapbox to disrespect him and spout woke ideology.
Okay.
Can you turn it up anymore?
Yeah.
What's she wearing?
A black church hat.
I miss being able to hope and wish that one day you turn a corner and see the world from my perspective. I miss the idea that one day you might help me fight for the things that matter. I miss my fantasy of you. Because when you died, it solidified the fact that you'll never be what you could have been, but only what you are. And what you are is a racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, Trump-loving, cis-straight white man.
That's a lot of words.
And Dad, before you tell me to respect the dead, please remember that you disrespected and disregarded the lives and deaths of entire communities of people with your ideology. You told me to never back down, so I won't. You know for a fact that even against you, I'm not afraid to share my peace. You are everything I aspire not to be, and I refuse to stand up here and sing the praises of a man who was the paradigm of white supremacy. So I'll take your racist mindset, I'll take your money, and I'll take your advice. And I swear to God I will make this world a better place. Not at all because of you, but in exact opposition to you.
You see,
Damn.
she
Wow, she
called him.
bombed.
She called him a racist white man, but she's his black daughter.
She's black?
That was a
Yeah.
black woman.
She's
Yeah.
biracial.
So he made
Yeah.
a daughter with a black woman, but
Unless
he's
it was
racist.
like a Thomas Jefferson
This guy. He's a
situation.
Oh, he's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire, yeah.
Oh yeah, who
Well,
was it?
let's learn
Daniel
about it.
Foss, I'll show him.
Daniel Foss.
Yeah.
So she's just a super privileged
Yeah,
idiot. that
she
lives
never
in a
had to
bubble.
face anything.
No, that's always those people. Like they don't realize that the minorities
Donald
that actually
Foss.
have shitty lives aren't worried about rich guys like that.
Yeah.
They're like we have actual problems we're dealing with.
Oh yeah, that guy's racist.
So is that her?
Yep.
That must be her right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Can you click on that one over to the left? I want to see that hat. What the fuck is it? She looks like Raiden.
The hat?
Is that Raiden's hat from Mortal Kombat?
Oh god, his daughter's Raiden.
No,
from
one more.
Mortal
One
Kombat?
more over.
Yeah.
That one. What
Oh,
is it?
yeah, that is a wild
Big
hat.
feather hat.
She looks like a mushroom in Mario.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't know.
I
It is funny to
it's
do
her
that
hair.
at your dad's funeral.
It's her
though.
hair?
Yeah, the lighting. It's a big, like...
Come on.
Oh, I want to touch it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I do. I would ask her to touch it.
Yeah.
That is what I would
Hey,
do.
can I touch your hair? I
And
know
that
it's your
was
dad's
like
funeral.
that wasn't a funeral, right? That was like more of a thing for him, like a memorial. or
No, that was
something.
at his.
It was a funeral, yeah.
That was
a
his
mo- yeah.
actual
yeah.
funeral.
Yeah.
All that sounded like is someone who has a lot of money and went to college and was told to think that way. Like
Yeah.
I've ran into so many people like that. That's not their mentality. Like
But how fucking evil to do that at the funeral for your
cold.
dad.
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
an awful person.
Yeah.
But most of the people who think that way are actually bad people, and they feel like they need to behave like that because they personally know how bad of people they are.
Yeah, that's in every community, though.
Yeah,
every
for sure.
community, when you have, the real activists like that, you usually realize, if you're an astute person, you do realize that they're just toxic people,
They're just
and they're
not good
hiding
people.
behind
Yeah.
they've got this thing where they can be toxic for good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why they go that hard about it. Because the average person, even if they have like an average, good person, decent person, because nobody's truly good, or perfect, but
Not really.
like
yeah.
the average, decent person will have strong feelings about certain things, and they might even get into heated debates every once in a while, but they don't turn all the way. You've got to lose your job. I got to make sure you don't have it. It's like, what are you, my crazy ex-girlfriend?
That's insane. Yeah. To think like what someone would have to do to me. To
I mean,
make
for
me
gay
want
people,
them-
that's boyfriend. I'm sorry.
You dirty dog.
Came out. I'm actually straight.
He gave teethy blowjobs.
I knew it.
Yeah, I'm really straight.
But yeah, for someone, what someone would have to do to me to get them fired from a job is hit my daughter in the face.
They could just fuck up my hamburger, and I'll try to get them to lose their
That's
job.
different,
But that's
though.
job
That's
related.
fast
You
food.
know what I
You
mean?
sassy queen.
But I get that. Look, don't
Is
get
a
me
Burger
started.
King employee fired?
You don't deserve that
Oh my
job
God.
because you're not good at it. It's on its merit.
Don't get me started about fast food workers.
Oh my God, Adam's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you go to a McDonald's at 2:30 a.m. and they say they can't accept card, but Ty, they can fucking accept card. And when you ask why they can't accept card, they can't give you a fucking reason. And then you go on a 2 to 5 minute tirade about how they have a tiny dick. And then they call the cops, and then you got to get the fuck out of there.
Oh, do you think they don't accept card because they want to just take the cash for themselves?
No,
Or
I
what?
think. Well,
That's
No,
the
because
theory
that's
for
a
a lot of
possibility.
people.
I think it's
Yeah.
more they're cutting the line in half.
I had the same
Like-
situation.
Yeah.
The exact same. Yeah. And I got just as mad.
I'm
I
like,
was
you
in-
can take card, and he's like, no, we have to update our system. I was like, you updated it last night. You couldn't take card last night, and he's be updated again. He's like, it updates every night, and I was like, you're a liar. Just know you're a liar.
Well, that's what they say. Yeah, that's what I was told too, that they had to update the system and that, they reset it. And I was like, why would you do that? Because, mine was especially frustrating because there was a really long line and I had
you
been
had waited
waiting.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then they
Damn.
decided to do it. It was like, why would you decide to do that when you know you have cars waiting? Why not wait until the line dies down?
I think it's to make the line die down
Yeah.
without having to do a lot of work. Because now they can push through half of those cars and not have to make the food for those people. But I think a really simple way to do that is to just give them fucking 50 cents per order they take. Like, we can tip fast food people. They don't work because they don't get tipped. They make no money, and it makes no difference whether or not they make the food or not because
I
they're
do
making
tip
the
my
same amount of
fast
money.
food people.
You just give them a little bit of cash.
I've always, for the last couple
you have
years
cash
now.
on you?
Oh,
What's the problem with
no,
you, dude?
I mean not like that. I'll have like $1 or two.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna give them is like $2 at the
But I think
most.
that's,
But
I think if they knew that was a thing, they would pull less shit like that.
yeah, I wish
Because
I had cash on me all the
Yeah.
time. I just
Who
don't
does
usually think
anymore?
about that. Yeah.
walking around downtown Austin, I never have cash on me.
Yeah, like right now, I think I probably have $6 at the most on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I feel is if someone were to shoot me in the head and take money out of my wallet, I want them to get nothing. I want to die for nothing.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I don't want
That's
to die and know that they got like 300
It's good to
bones.
die for nothing. I
Yeah.
think most people want to die for nothing. It's
Yeah.
what we all
Most
strive
people do
for.
die for nothing.
Yeah.
Chris had some guy that happened to him, right? Some dude got shot in the head in front of your apartment complex.
Yeah, I used to live on 6th Street, right across from Vulcan.
Yeah.
And one time I was just walking because I was upset and I was just walking late at night and dude pulled a knife on me like, fucking give me all your money. I'll kill you. And I'm like, I'm homeless too, dude. And I just kept walking.
That's a good move.
And another time on the street, I went to go hook up with this disgusting woman. Disgusting, Ty.
Yeah.
You're gay and that's good.
That doesn't surprise anybody.
I
That the girl you were hooking up with
How
is
disgusting.
I don't
1
know.
through
I
10.
came home after having sex with her, and dude got shot in front of my house, or home.
And you think
And
that's
that was
because she
better.
was so disgusting?
No,
It probably didn't help.
I enjoyed that more than having
Oh,
sex with
okay.
her.
I thought you were trying to make a correlation.
He
Did you
couldn't
see the dead body?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
he
to,
sent me a picture of it.
Holy shit.
I had to wait outside my apartment for like 4 hours or something like that, just to get in.
That's rough.
I was hanging out with the cops. They were nice people.
He lives with me now. We live in San Marcos, which is so safe.
Yeah.
It's such a nice town.
Oh, you guys live together?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
We have a spare room in our house. Me and my fiance bought a house like a year ago. And
Oh, you've got a fiance.
yeah,
I thought you had a
her.
wife.
Oh, well, it's
No,
my wife.
yeah.
It is, I mean, I consider her wife.
Common law.
Basically. Well,
Common
I don't know.
law.
I don't think you should have to fucking sign papers and stuff to consider someone like your wife. Like we have a kid
Evan.
together. We're not gonna break up.
Well, I consider
don't
you
cheat
my
on her.
wife, and we don't have any paperwork.
Yeah,
That's
but the
smart.
stuff we've done together, like
We really have had some times.
We've exceeded wife status. That time I spun you around on my cock. Like,
I was
like,
thinking about the time we went to Disneyland.
that was nice too.
Oh,
I
you
sp-
went sweet with it.
Oh yeah, dude. There is that video on TikTok of the teacups, and like everyone's watching their kids, and it just passes by, and I'm just taking. Like, oh my god!
That's the equivalent of saying. That's the equivalent of
We
saying
went
I do.
viral in more than one way.
Someone stop the ride. It's on a timer. We just have to let them do it.
It can't last that long. He's going
I
too
was
hard to
spinning
last.
the wheel. I was spinning the wheel as Adam was pumping me.
The faster you spun the wheel, the faster you went.
We were both wearing MAGA hats. We broke the internet that day.
But for Trump.
You were wearing the original "Make America Great," and I was wearing the "Keep America Great." That was our version of the his and hers.
Dude, Trump's approval rate skyrocketed after that. We got him elected, I think.
We put him over.
I think Trump would respect that. Two guys butt fucking in the teacups at Disneyland for him. They're good guys. They like to have fun.
There were good people on both sides.
It's also harder to stay hard because the centrifuge, it's all the blood's going against
Oh,
us.
it will
It's
be
just
hard.
even more impressive.
It
to
was
stay
hard,
yeah.
but we figured it out. Well, you look at Ty. It's not that hard to stay hard. He's a handsome man.
We made it happen.
I made it happen all over his back. It
How
was green
dare
for
you.
some- That's fun. How long have we been going?
40?
Cool. We can go like another 5 or 10.
Mhm.
You good with that?
Yeah.
So, how much blood is usually involved in gay ass sex?
I've always wondered.
There has to be some.
Is there any blood?
Usually none.
I feel like when
Really?
I wipe a lot, there's a little bit of blood.
There's blood when I shit. How's there no blood when you?
Gay sex has really changed a lot.
Oh, really?
That's and I'm not even joking about that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, compared to when I was younger, gay sex has really changed a lot.
used to be just spitting in the hand and slapping an ass and just going for it.
It was a lot more analog.
Like, there's a little bit more to it than that. But yeah,
That's
that's
a lot
that's
more
legit.
analog back in the day.
How has gay sex changed the most?
It's this is not to be gross, but it's a lot cleaner now.
That's
That's
good.
not gross.
Yeah, but you
A
know,
lot more prep.
yeah. Well, you know, everybody douches now.
That's smart.
And so when I was younger, that wasn't the thing. You know, you would just hope for the best. That
It
really
probably
was
pretty bad sometimes.
for the most part the way it was. I mean, some people douched, I guess, but usually those were like the advanced,
Rich
like
gays.
Did you ever get a dollop of
fisting
shit on your dick?
bottoms. Oh yeah,
Just a dollop?
Yeah, yeah, the dollop. Sometimes a chip.
Oh no! In the hole.
Sometimes a full spread. You
ever
know what I
shit
mean?
in? Have you ever pissed shit out of your penis after ass fucking a man?
Yes and no.
Interesting.
Like it didn't actually go in the hole, but it was on the hole, and then you
Smells
peed, and
really
then
bad.
it like.
I heard getting shit in your dick hole hurts.
I've never had shit in my dick hole, not in it.
Good for
I'm
you.
not saying nobody has,
If
but
you ever
I
run
haven't.
for president, that should be.
That's like
Stop
my.
shit in the dick hole.
I may be gay, but I have never had shit in my dick hole.
That's-
Unlike my opponent.
That's like my. I didn't inhale. You know, that's.
And then at that point, conservatives are so hungry just for a good president. They're like, fair enough. If he never had shit in his dick
I
hole,
may
God
have
would be
fucked
okay with it.
men, but I never got dick in my or shit in
I
my dick
think
hole.
A gay Republican
I got dick in my shit hole.
could win.
That's almost the way I said it backwards.
I think
You probably had dick in your shit hole, dude.
I think a
I
gay
have had dick in my shit hole.
think a
Who
gay
has
Republican
it?
could be
What
president.
gay has it?
Sadly, yeah.
I think that could happen now. I think the world's right. I think a gay Republican could win the presidential election.
Look at Tim Dillon.
Well, like Milo Yiannopoulos, I think that was the best like example. He was an extreme, obviously, but I think a more like I don't know, neutral, gay, conservative guy could definitely. Isn't Dave Rubin gay?
Yeah.
Someone
Dave
like that.
Rubin.
Maybe not like exactly like him,
Yeah.
but something along those lines. I don't even think he's conservative. I think he's like libertarian or something.
Milo was cool, and he's a really good speaker, but he turned out to be too much of a shock jock. That's what
Yeah.
really ended
He tried
him.
too hard.
It wasn't even the, you know, I mean, like, I know that the official reason was that story he did about being a young, you know what I mean?
I agree. I think it was just he was pushing it too hard.
Yeah, and they were tired. Like, people got tired of him, and he started being more of a caricature. Like,
Yeah.
when he showed up on Bill Maher and was wearing, like, the pearls and had kind of almost like a non-binary look, and it was just like, what are you doing now? Now you're just doing shit to kind of, you know, clout chase.
He
Yeah.
pretty much died out, right? Yeah,
No, he
he's
got
not
fully
around.
canceled.
He got
Off
canceled.
of everything because of what we were talking about earlier, like young guys fucking older guys in the gay community. He said that I think he said he was 15, he fucked an old man, and he didn't think there was anything wrong with that.
Yeah, and
He
it
got
came
canceled
off.
because of that, though.
It came off as him like endorsing
Oh.
those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Which like anybody that's been in that actual position, I think, can understand why he said what he said, if it did in fact happen to him. Because, like, I think when you're a victim of that kind of stuff, when you're young, you try to find a way to, like, find the empowering side of it.
Yeah, it's easier if you say it didn't bother you.
Yeah, and so, like, if from that mentality, and that's the way I think he should have gone at it when he, like, but I really think that that's something he just said to be funny, and I don't think he actually lived that experience.
Okay.
You know, I really
Do you
don't.
think he's gay?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Milo's gay.
I heard a lot of rumors that he might not even be gay.
Oh, I think he's fully gay, but I just think that he was embellishing on that story and just trying to be, like, you know, kind of cute.
There was a time where he was very entertaining and very funny. Like, I think he should have just chilled out more on the political stuff and just pursued some kind of, like, comedy internet status and maybe done some stand-up shit.
Well,
and
he's
stuff.
great and he's super smart and he
Yeah.
can retain statistics, you know, because that was one of the things that was the most impressive about him was he would just rattle off statistics, which is one of the things that's most impressive about Ben Shapiro. You know, Ben Shapiro, they're both entertaining.
And they're
I mean,
both
like,
smart.
yeah,
Like,
but
even like Steven Crowder. All those guys are smart. That's why they're able to hold the mic the way they do.
yeah, Steven Crowder I have less exposure to, so I can't really
Yeah.
speak on him, you know.
He's just an old Canadian comedian that's now political.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
he was a bad stand-up comedian, and then he got into politics and realized, like, I can be, like, medium funny, but as long as I'm saying the right stuff, I'm gonna get a huge demographic will like me because he's handsome and he is charismatic and he's not unfunny. He's just not funny enough to be a stand-up.
You know that change my mind stuff he does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
those are actually very interesting.
Well,
Those
he
aren't
just
bad.
hit me as always like the right-wing version of an SJW. You know what I mean? Like
He
their
has that.
equivalent
He
on the
does
right.
Definitely like that.
And he can, like, I've seen him get, like, triggered and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just when he tries to, like, debate comedians and stuff, I've seen, like, because he's not funny. That's the thing. It's like, he's funny enough as a political analyst, but he's not funny as a comedian. So, but he's all, like, the only comedians he's really, like, debated was, like, Christopher Titus.
I didn't know him in Titus.
Christopher Titus kind of sucks, dude. to be honest.
He
I have a
sucks.
really funny story about Christopher Titus. He was headlining at Tacoma Comedy Club. I was, like, probably, like, 7 months into comedy.
Yeah.
And I was volunteering, so I would, like, seat people, and in exchange, we'd get, like, guest spots on the big shows and stuff. Kind of like what they do at, like, the Comedy Store and stuff.
Yeah.
But you didn't get paid. You just got, like, free drinks, free food.
Yeah.
And so he's taking a piss, and I go in there, and there's a girl featuring for him, and she's absolutely trash, dog shit, just bombing for like 30 minutes. And, like, I thought it'd be funny because I was like, you know, he's a headliner. He can probably recognize that his feature's not that good. I was like, man, she's not very good. He's like, that's my wife.
Oh no.
But you can agree.
No, then he just looked at me. He's like, you fucked up, buddy. And then he just zipped up his pants and walked away. And I was like, all right. But nothing happened.
Wait,
after
zipped
that.
up his pants and
He was
walked.
pissing.
Oh,
I
I
was
was
okay.
sucking him off.
I was sucking him off. Hey, this chick sucks, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna come anymore. You
That's
fucked
my
up,
wife.
buddy.
Have some respect and cup the balls
You're
more.
not getting that guest spot anymore.
Okay, did you set that up in the story and I missed it?
I think I may have.
That you guys were in
glanced
the
over it.
bathroom?
I walked in the
'Cause
bathroom.
All I heard was that you said it and then he zipped up his pants and walked away. And it was like, wait, what?
No, that confused me too. I was like, why were you unzipped? No, yeah, I don't know if I prefaced that I was in the bathroom with him, but yeah, I was pissing next to him in the urinal, and it was like they have the speakers in the bathroom so you can hear her bombing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God, she's terrible. And he's like, that's my wife.
You fucked up, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, well,
fucked
you
up,
fucked up. Having a terrible
You
wife
married
is a
a
comedian.
dumb woman.
And so did you still perform for him? Were you performing that night?
No, I didn't end up getting any guest spots that weekend. I don't know if that was related. But it may have been.
I don't know if that was. That's exactly why it was. I'm sure that's why it was.
Well, then the next week, Carlos Mencia came, and he gave me guest spots on every show.
How many jokes of yours does he do now?
Orderly, my daughter, I rape her. I look like a fucking pedophile. I rape my daughter.
I did guest sets for Carlos Mencia after all that stuff happened, like, you know, quite a while after that stuff happened, just because I wanted to actually see for myself what he was like, you know, because I had heard different stories. It was, like I said, it was quite a while after that had happened, but still pretty close, you know, and so.
He was super nice to me.
Yeah, he is really nice.
He's a really nice guy, but it's like I can see it. Like I've been in comedy enough to like you know those super nice guys a lot are just very phony guys who will fuck you over in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah. Well, also he admits that he doesn't like. If the audience is more liberal, he'll be liberal. If the audience is more right-leaning, then he's more right-leaning.
That's fine.
That's what
I don't
he
really
does.
see anything wrong with that. Like, there's a lot of comics that do shit like that.
You're just never gonna.
It's dumb, but I don't think it's like an insult to the
I think you
community.
should be able to make what you are. I don't think so either. I don't think you should have to have a loyalty.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're really good at what you do, you
and I
should
don't
be able
think
to
he
make
is-
them laugh even if they're the opposite
I don't
of
think
what
he
you
is
are.
really good at what he does.
And that's
Yeah,
how you
no.
I
build
think he's
more
a guy
sustainable fan base.
that got really lucky and blew up, and now he's just kind of using that to kind of maintain a decent career. I mean, he still headlines a lot. He's doing all right.
Yeah, the places he does still sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Every-
It'll always be a joke.
I did
in
6
comedy.
guest sets with him, and every single show was 250 people.
Yeah, his
A lot of
shows
Mexicans
are always
still.
packed. Oh yeah. Well, Mexicans don't care.
And Mexicans
That's
are
one of the things that's
the
the
best.
most frustrating.
behind black audience, and I would maybe even say Mexicans are better than black audiences because they're a little less judgmental, but they laugh almost as hard as black audiences laugh. Like a fully Mexican audience, they're
Yeah.
fun as fuck.
Yeah, they're notoriously dumb though.
Of course.
They're easy. Well, they're eezy.
They're dumb.
Yeah. You know what you can say to make them be like, oh,
Yeah.
If you
they're-
say anything related to being Mexican, you
which,
will crush.
like, Mexicans as individuals aren't dumb,
Mhm.
No.
but once they are in a crowd, just like gay audiences,
Is
Well,
it dumb
like-
or they just like to have fun, man?
Well, to that point,
they're
though,
dumb. Like, because
Okay.
if you say something that sounds the thing is, it's like that Chris Rock joke, like where he was like, where he says, like, I don't remember what it was exactly, but it's something like black people actually aspire to look stupid. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
look
okay.
like it's not cool to be smart. And so Mexicans in crowds, they don't want everybody around them to think they're being white, which is a huge thing. When you
Okay.
when you grow up Mexican, it's always that. You know what I mean? If you do
Really?
anything that's not like traditionally Mexican, all the other Mexicans will be like, "What do you think you're white?" I mean, it's just so common to hear that.
Yeah.
And so when you get in a crowd, you don't want to look like the smart one, or you're like trying to be too smart, because then you're trying to be white.
Because I'm like half. Or,
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
to have like only like 1 or 2 kids.
and like a real
And then
Mexican.
everyone's
You
like, you
shut
are
up.
so white.
A real Mexican, like, you're
Or you
not
don't-
Mexican, you're white. And I'm just like, yeah.
Or like
Good.
you have electricity every day of the month in your house, and everyone's like, oh, "What are you white?"
I hate you.
You flush your
I
toilet
hate
paper
you
and
so
they're like,
much.
what are you, white?
To that point, though, when I was doing a guest set, I said something so dumb, and it got like a minute-long applause break. I was trying to talk about fucking Mexican girls, and I just made some kind of reference, I think, to like Selena or something. I was like, I'm trying to get Oda laid up in here.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I got a applause
I
break.
got probably one of the biggest applause breaks I've ever gotten in comedy.
That's
saw-
genius.
I saw a girl, Justine Marino, once got a huge applause break. The audience went crazy just off her saying the word frijoles. And she said it like that because she's not Mexican, So she was like,
okay.
frijoles. And they were like, wow! Just fucking lost it. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
We're that dumb, you guys? Okay.
Was it that Angela Johnson girl that made an entire career off of just doing a really good Asian accent?
Yeah,
Oh,
the nail
shit.
bit.
The bit's not even
Yeah.
that good. It's
Fucking
just
awful, dude.
it is a very good impression.
Oh yeah, it's a great impression. And for a long time, her set was her eating it up until she got to that bit.
Yeah, I heard that about Bert too with the machine for a little while. That it
Yeah, I
would
never
be-
was very familiar with him. Her, I'm more familiar with
Yeah.
because I she started shortly after I did.
Okay,
Yeah, and so I really know her.
is she cool? Do you know her like as a friend? Or?
One thing I didn't like about her was when I first met her, she was very clear about the fact that she identified mostly as Native American, and she would really downplay because she is part Latina, and but she was like, I think at that time, like, was ashamed, and she thought the better play was to say that she was Native American.
Yeah.
And so, and we were on, at one point, kind of a long drive together. Like, she talked about it in her book, which, apparently she says my name in her book. But on that same trip, like, she was really because I thought she was cool and I thought she was Latina, and so I right away thought that's something we could like chat about. You know what I mean? Both being Latino and starting out in comedy and stuff. And she was so clear with me that she was native, and that's more what she leaned towards. Yeah, I'm, part. That kind of
the
shit.
same thing.
But then, really wanted to play up the native part. And then all of a sudden, she gets on. And because it was a better play at that time to say you were Latino because of Jennifer Lopez and Ricky Martin. Then all of a sudden, she started really pushing so I'm Mexican. And it's like, all right, bitch.
Yeah.
That's funny.
There's not a lot of Native American comedians out there.
Yeah.
So instead of being something unique, she decided to go with the mainstream.
Who is Rex Navarrete? Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Why do I think I opened for him once. He's a Native American, I believe. Or no, he was a Filipino.
That's what I thought.
So that was one of my first times I ever opened for a headliner. I won this competition, and like the reward was you got to do like 6 weekends in a year hosting, which was great for me. I was a year in, so that was huge. And he was my first one, and I think I thought he was going to be Native American just by the name for some reason.
Yeah.
And then I got there, and he's a sold-out crowd, 200 Filipino people. That's all it was. And then I had to go up there, and I was like, "This is going to be a shit show," and they were awesome.
The Filipinos support. The Filipinos really support other Filipinos. They really do.
But I think they thought it was cool that I wasn't Filipino.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're literally there because they want to see this Filipino comic. And then I walk out there, and they were laughing before I even started talking.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them probably don't understand, like, the whole host dynamic, too, that it's a guy, and then it's the guy you came... Or it's a guy, and then another guy, and then the guy you came to see. So a lot of them were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, they're great.
They were awesome. They were really
Joe
good.
Coy, I was on the road with him for a year and a half when I was first starting out. And... the Filipino fans were super supportive and nice and great. Would bring me food.
I think he's from Tacoma.
He's definitely the biggest comedian from up there.
Yeah, he's from Washington.
Yeah,
Joe
and
Coy.
then he was in Vegas for a while.
All right, well, I think we can probably... They're starting to do a show in there, I think. They're starting an open mic.
Oh.
Which is ridiculous.
420?
That's what Austin is you got to give these people enough opportunities to bomb as possible because it makes them not grow as comedians at all.
Ready to call it?
Yeah, we can go. What will we do, like an hour?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're at 50. Yeah, about an hour.
yeah.
Hey, thank you
for
so
coming,
much,
Ty.
Ty.
That was such a fun
Oh,
episode,
yeah,
man.
no,
I really
thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having
You're
me.
looking at your phone.
Yeah, well, I move on right away.
You're good. I'm not
You're
worried.
probably
About
tired.
He gave us an hour,
Yeah.
and you're tired. I know you just flew in from a whole weekend of shows. So.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I
Yeah.
do appreciate
That was fun,
it.
man.
Thanks for doing it,
Yeah,
buddy.
thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Love you, Ty.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Anything goes on the filthy show. Filthy